Well, this is such a different view. Spoiler warning for the Final Destination Bloodlines. What's up, guys? It's Courtney, one half of the Brothers Deconstruction here, and I'm bringing you my review for Final Destination Bloodlines. I hadn't even thought of reviewing this movie. At the time of recording on a Sunday, I went to go see this Friday afternoon following work and was going to leave it at just that. Then just now it hit me. I literally have super late reviews of the previous 5 movies in this franchise. How could I not do a review for this one? So let's get into it. I really had a good time with this movie. I was sold on the premise once we got word that the movie was framed around a woman who had a premonition and saved people, but now death was coming after her bloodline. And that's just the gist of what's going on. I'll get back to that in a minute. I find it interesting that the premise of the movie changed from what we originally heard a few years ago. Now, remember when they announced back in 2020 that they were making another Final Destination movie and it was going to be based around first responders? At some point, they scrapped that film and decided to go with this idea. If this movie does well, which it looks like it's going to, that could be the next idea they go with. But surprisingly, I'd be fine with ending the franchise with this movie. The woman who had the premonition on the giant needle restaurant thing is named Iris. When we first see this opening accident, it's her granddaughter having a dream of her having the premonition and dying. I don't want to call it a twist, but the big idea in the story is that Iris is essentially the first person in this movie universe to have this premonition and interrupt Death's plan. And she saved so many people who went on to have lives and children that it's taken decades to get back to her. Meaning all the other movies were just stepping stones coming back to her and her family while she's been holed up in a cabin for the past 20 years, keeping her bloodline safe. And this includes Tony Todd's William Bloodworth, the medical examiner who's been a constant throughout the series. Now, he has a monologue to the characters, and apparently the director saw that Tony was sick and told him to ad-lib the ending, giving a message to the fans. And it was kind of sad knowing that, he passed away a few months after filming was done for this movie. Enough about the story and plot. The kills are what we come to see when it comes to this franchise, and this movie delivers. The directors Zach Lipovsky and Adam Steen must be real big fans because their use of details from previous movies is really good. They have red herrings where you think a person is going to get killed by one thing, but it's ultimately something else. They have Rube Goldberg style chain of events. They also have creative kills, and they use every bit of that R rating, even if a lot, if not most, of the blood is CG. Now, this isn't surprising if you know how they got the job to direct the movie. On a video call with execs, they staged a freak accident that was like a combination of pre-recorded footage and visual effects. So yeah, I think it's safe to say these guys are fans. Now, going back to the story really quick, the reason why I said I'd be fine with this being the last movie is because it ends with the last of Iris's grandkids being killed, which I thought was incredibly fitting and it felt definitive. It's another staple of Final Destination movies where the survivors think that they made it only to have that oh shit moment. to me, that moment here means that Death should be done tying up loose ends, but we'll see what they decide to do. Which means they could go back and use that first responder idea after all, if they decide to do like a reboot. Anyway, again, I had a really fun time watching this movie, and I would highly suggest it if you're a fan of the series. The acting is solid, with the actor playing Eric standing out because he's just filled with personality. The familial story at the center of the movie actually feels like they made an effort to make it feel real. Even if you're tangentially familiar with these movies or just looking for some people to get killed in creative ways, check this movie out. Now, with that being said, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I might go back and watch my previous reviews of these movies and do a ranking list where I ultimately decide to put them, or I just might critique my own reviews. We'll see. Appreciate you guys as always, and I'll talk to you later. Now, if I had real-time knowledge and a burst of creativity, somehow I would film like a freak accident to happen right now, but ain't nobody got time for that.